It's a good look.
Alex Byrne, the costume designer, she's an Oscar winner. She is unafraid of the sort of theatricality of some of the costumes.
Obviously, I started with the comics. I would say the biggest input for Asgard was the original artwork of Jack Kirby. The world he created is amazing.
Asgard needed that singular voice of, this is the expression of Asgard. A good example is, if you saw Sif, you could tell immediately because of how she looked that she was from Asgard.
For the population of Asgard, I wanted to keep the idea of the comic book graphics where he ombres out the crowd and keeps it very monochrome, and that seemed a very good way to keep the population of Asgard present but not distracting. And we have actors, we have faces, we have human proportions, and the biggest challenge of this is how to make them look like real people, albeit gods, but they're real in terms of not people wearing silly clothes.
We're trying to hint at things that are technological and really advanced, but we can't really show them in a way that would make it feel like it was from our world. So it becomes a challenge, and I think that a lot of the stuff that we try to do is just make it a really amazing looking costume.
Here are a couple of Thor images that you can see that were done very early on. You can see a lot of the Norse designs that's in it. This is the actual Norse symbol that I took apart, just abstracted into his armor. And then this was the attempt at trying to modernize him. It was based off of kind of the ultimate design of Thor, but smashed in with a modern take of some Norse designs. One of the things that we were trying to do was play a lot with fabric weaving in and out with metal, just to kind of give a different feel of Asgard. It's a different culture, a different place, so it's not something that we usually see today, what we wear. I think the most challenging thing was trying to come up with all these characters that had to fit into Asgard. You're trying to figure out, did they live here? Were they part of this culture? How much influence did they have from outside? And trying to get that balance, it was a challenging part, but it was also what was fun about the project.
One of the things that I enjoy doing working on these projects is being sort of a middle ground between what the comics is and trying to take it into an illustrated realm that adds a little bit more reality to it, and then having the costume designer have that as a basis for them to work from to actually bring it into reality.
The cape is particularly demanding because it needs to look magical. In the comic books, Kirby uses it as a great graphic device for movement and tension and drama. So we needed to have a cape that could have that amount of expression, but also frame Chris's shape and proportion when he's not moving, and then billow and move, fly with him when he's fighting. The physicality and the movement is a huge component of these costumes. You can draw fabric till the end of the earth, but we wanted a cape that was going to behave so that it wasn't done in post-production. And we evolved the cape in the workroom, and that fed in with the way the artists were drawing, and we ended up with a cape that does do everything we wanted. It's not done in post-production.
Whether you believe in Thor's personal charisma, his character journey, you've got to give him an intention. It can't just be sort of swash and buckle. It can't be off for Asgard. It can't be a sort of empty hurrah. This applies to cape. This applies to helmet. It applies to discs. You have to ask why. Okay, so why does he need the cape? Can it tell us a story about his position? Does it help him move better or worse? Does it give a visual signal to other characters? The helmet, or what's it used for? Is it ceremonial? Is it aggressive? Always find a why. And so Alex Byrne was great at doing that.
I have to say we have a great team of actors because the clothes are not easy. They do not take 5 minutes to put on.
It's about an hour in the costume. There's just layers and bits and pieces. And in the first couple of weeks, we were pouring sweat and dying in these things. Then they came up with these cooling vests, which I think the race car drivers wear, which basically a little vest with pipes that run cold water through and can cool you down.
I haven't quite counted how many pieces it takes to get this thing on, but it's an incredible, incredible piece of work. I mean, it makes you stand up straight. You know, there's no sitting around in jeans and a t-shirt ordering a Frappuccino in this costume.
The costumes that we wear are quite hard, so when we walk, we don't slouch. We stand up because we physically cannot bend over. So that helps. It helps you carry that strength, that posture that a superhero would carry.
It kind of shifts your center of gravity, so the whole physicality of the character, you know, it's quite a costume. It's the sexiest suit of armor out there, actually. I say that now, but I wouldn't tell that in front of the others because they get upset, but they can clearly see.
You may be taller, but I'm wider.
Helmets. Helmets were the big issue. I've done helmets before, but not on this scale. And that was great because we had digital forms of the actors so that we could sculpt on those, because a helmet is so much about the proportion of the face, the eyes, the jawline, because they have to work in close-up.
In all my fittings way back, I kept thinking, when am I going to get the horns on? Because it's almost like the last piece of the jigsaw kind of becoming the character. And there's something also about the brow, like what it does here. It sort of makes you look out from underneath it, which kind of gives you the god of mischief, you know?
It's good to have you back.
This comes in 2 pieces. And the back, that's the back piece there. And then this comes off, like that, and it kind of slots together like this. There she is, in all her glory.
If you look at a character like Heimdall, the fusion of the worlds that Bo created